Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Azim bin Osman. So first thing first, I would like to say thank you to my friend and also my lecturer, Dr. T.S. Rozami bin Muhammad Sa'ad. And today I would like to present to you about the topic polyester. So we start from the introduction. The polymerization is a reaction between acid and alcohol, which is to get an ester plus water. A reaction called esterification are needed. Polyester is a polymer made up of several basic ester molecules joined by a condensation process. Polyester constitutes a category of polymer characterized by the presence of an ester functional group in each repeat unit of their main chain. When discussing a specific type of substance, polyethylene terephthalate (PET) is a commonly cited. Polyester encompasses synthetic material such as polybutyrate as well as naturally occurring substances found in the plant and insect. The majority of synthetic polyester is not biodegradable. However, certain natural and synthetic polyester are. Clothing made from synthetic polyester is extensively utilized. And I would like to share to you about the early beginning of the polyester. Midway through the 1930th century, a man named Dr. Wally Carter, who was working for DuPont at the time, discovered that he could make a fiber by combining alcohol with carboxylic acid. This was the beginning of the polyester material. Despite being a success, this project was abandoned when Carter discovered nylon, another fabric that is still very much demanded today. Berthwissel and Ritchie, two British scientists, continued Carter's work in 1939, but not until 1944 did Terylene, the first real polyester fiber, make its appearance, until DuPont purchased the right from them in 1946 and two carried on with their works. Later, DuPont developed Dacron, a polyester fiber that was comparable. So next, I would like to share to you about the polyester manufacturing process. So this is the flow sheet of the manufacturing process of the polyester fiber. As this process will start from the petroleum, first hydrocarbons are pumped from the earth and then transported through the pipeline to the petroleum refineries to be separated by heat. Petroleum has many uses, primarily fuel, but the petroleum fraction we need is called naphtha. After refining naphtha, we get two lighter hydrocarbons, ethylene and xylene. Once we have these two hydrocarbons, we move on onto the chemical processing stage. Here, we will convert the xylene into dimethyl terephthalate and ethylene into monoethylene glycol. These two hydrocarbon chemicals we need to make a plastic by polymerizing monoethylene glycol and terephthalic acid, and then we make the polyethylene terephthalate. PET is the most common plastic made, and also PET is a polyester. Therefore, they are the same thing. The PET chip now only need to be melted to make a plastic bottle or plastic fiber. So this is why we recycle PET bottles, and also the PET bottle can be melted back to make the polyester fiber. So, how does the PET become our clothes? So, the first principle of the process is to feed the polyester chip into the chip hopper. Then, the second is melted them and ensure that the melt flows stably in the screw extruder. Then, in the screw extruder, the melt is filtered and pressed into the spinneret, spray out a thin stream of melts, and quickly condensed by the cool air to form a solidified tow fiber. During this process, pre-stretching is also generated due to the function of the yarn guide, and it also makes the fiber thinner. The nascent fiber will wound into a roll with a certain shape by the winding system. The second process is we call post-processing. We start from the POY, which is polyester POY, and then next moving to the DTY, and then we'll go to the twisting, hanking, dyeing, and winding. So we have four spinning process categories, which first is conventional spinning, medium speed spinning, high speed spinning, and lastly ultra high speed spinning. So most commonly we use in factory are the high speed spinning. So the process in POY and DTY is a combining drawing and twisting process on the same machine to produce yarn in the, is called draw texturing yarn, which is DTY. Will undergoes into the process twisting, refer to combining two or several single yarn together and twisting them through the machine to produce strong elastic strand with a properties uniform thickness, smooth surface, and wear resistant. In hanking, the purpose is to loosen the twisted yarn so the dye can be penetrate the yarn completely during the dyeing process. During the process hanking, the worker will add some water needed to tighten the yarn a little bit. In a process for mass dyeing, professional color staff will prepare color formula based on the customer requested and dye it using the dyeing machine. There are three most commonly used in dyeing method. First is hang dyeing, second is dot dyeing, and the third is cone dyeing. And lastly is a winding process of yarn post-processing. It is a task to process hang yarn to cone yarn. This process generally lasts 2 to 3 days. After passing winding process, the inspection worker will check the quality and if it passed, the yarn will be back stored and sent out to the customer. So what is the characteristic and benefit of the polyester? First thing first is it is a durable character. It won't tear and also withstand abrasion. And secondly, is a moisture resistant, which is can repel and wring away moisture and liquid. And it also a wrinkle resistant. It can retain its form with a less washing and ironing. And it also unbondable, can be formed into shape when heated. And lastly, easily washed, which is we can eliminate dirt, odor, and hold its shape and color from fading. So what is our what is the generally use of polymer in our surrounding? Basically, we basically the polyester are famous with clothing, which is any apparel item for business, formal, or any casual, and also is famous with the home appliance. For example, pillow, chair, and a sofa cushion. And it also famous in industrial application. We can find it in a bottle, rope, cord, boat, and more. So what is the cons of the polyester? Is the clothing eco-friendly? First, the cons is petroleum problem. Polyester needs a lot of energy to produce, while being a relatively inexpensive material. Furthermore, heavy metal or harmful compound employed in manufacturing process have the potential to enter wastewater system and eventually the environment. Second is the manufacturing pollution. The fact that polyester is derived from petroleum and other fossil fuel in the first problem is cannot solve. The need for the polyester drive the extraction and refinement of hundreds of millions of barrels of oil from the planet. And lastly, disadvantage of the polyester. Ultimately, the environment effect of polyester persists even after it is stopped or stored as a parallel of fabric. These are two issues at hand. First, the microplastic shedding. First, when the polyester clothing is worn or cleaned, microplastic is shed from it. In the end, these microplastics find their way into our bodies through soil or water resource. And then a landfill fodder. Secondly is polyester clothing is difficult to recycle and frequently end up to hundreds of years later in landfill. Polyester is a not sustainable resource because it is a man-made material and that won't biodegrade. To recycle polyester, we need to understand it is made from used PET, which is water bottles that are can converted into the polyester fabric, and is also which need a fresh petroleum and chemical to convert oil into the plastic that can be woven into garment. So millions of pounds spent PET plastic will be gathered by manufacturers from sources such as fishing net, single-use water bottles, and also industrial products in order to make recycled polyester. So after being cleaned, melted, and reformed into chip or pellet, the plastic will be ready for further processing. Now that the PET has been spun into the long thread to form fabric, the recycled polyester process resembles the virgin polyester process in many ways. So that's all for my presentation about the polyester. I hope you understand what about my explanation. That's all. Thank you.